Hi, it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We need a lid. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope everybody's doing well. This is Greg Mester, Agile Coach, Scrum Master, and it is 5:10 a.m. in the morning here on the East Coast. And I was just showing my daughter cut her first pumpkin yesterday for Halloween all by herself. So she tried to do a clown face. Lost some teeth though. Maybe it's old like me. Um, So she had fun. Just the creative side of Halloween, I think, has always encouraged me since I was a little kid, and it's just fun watching people get creative in what they did, and it was a good time. And it's one of those fun things that sometimes you got to be able to break away from the job and enjoy that with what's going on with friends and family, and just hanging out with the neighbors and just relaxing a little bit. And today, it is Friday. Woo, Friday! Yay, Friday! Again, we said this is episode 102, right? I don't know if we did. No. Okay. Episode 102 for those casters out there. And today we're going to do Fortune Cookie Friday. And I'm going to mute my phone in case for some reason somebody tries to call us in the middle of the show. Because it's live and things happen when you're live. So we got our fortune cookie. To talk about that. I did put up a playlist for fortune cookie episodes. I put 2 of them up there. I'm going to do the rest, and just like Scrum. So I went through the backlog of all my. I'm working on the backlog because I want to practice very lean here. I'm not going to bother going through every episode so far because we have 102 of them, right? And just get through the first couple, and then I'm building a backlog of how I take the episodes and break them into smaller episodes and reuse it to produce some smaller content, because I know some people are really on the go and they don't have 15 minutes to spend to watch the show. So I want to make smaller bits that also if you're Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, if you want to bring little pieces of it, you can bring it into your training sessions and all that, because it's free. It's for you all to use. I just want to help people per our mission to, get some practical and tactical Agile and Scrum, right? And get you home so you have fun, like on Halloween. And it's Friday. Hopefully have some good times this weekend. And then build your business and balance that work-life activity. And at the same time, have fun. Why not, right? So just love Halloween. The creative side just is something to bring up. So today, I'm going to talk about points to hours, because it's really bugging me lately. And then grooming more than just two sprints out. And I'll tell you why. I had some discussion, and it just emphasizes why I say what I say, and why it's that. So, and then we'll follow up with the fortune cookie at the end. So, points and hours. One of the things it's been driving me nuts lately. Eddie. So there is this thing in SAFe, and I think people misunderstand it. I think, they try to get a workspace. There is a thing in there about equating some hours to points. However, when you do that, your velocity will never go up, right? Think about, so here's a little whiteboard, and I'm going to draw a little track of velocity over time, and do the classic. When people start out, they're over velocity, right? And then they estimate or commit to a higher level velocity than they can, and they actually deliver here. This is actuals. The little triangles are actuals, and they're really low, and on a basic line chart. And then the next time they say, okay, here's my actual, so I'm going to estimate down here because it's closer to what the actual was, because when we do this, your velocity, you estimate what you did in the past, right? But then you're probably going to achieve above it because it was way too low, because it was the first time you ever did Scrum and getting your team together, and no one really does a good job the first time, and it's dynamics and how do you work together in the new code and all that kind of stuff. And then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna estimate next sprint. I'm gonna estimate close to that. but it's a little bit too much because you just overdo it, and then you're down the middle. And sooner or later, you basically got two tangential lines that come up, and as sooner or later they come here. The problem is if you do hours, right? The only hours you would increase of, so if you do hours with equivalent to velocity. So if you work 40 hours, right? If you work 40 hours a week, there's no way, and you track by hours, let's say it's 8 hours is 1 point, you'll always get 5 points per person, right? 5 points per person, because that divided by 8, right, is 5, right? So you can't get any better than that, right? There's no way to improve the velocity whatsoever. You are capped. You have set yourself a virtual cap on how much you can do velocity. So what happens is the velocity just stays, it may go up a little bit, but it pretty much stays flat the entire time. So guess what? Velocity becomes a terrible measure for how well your team's doing. And you basically kill an easy measure that helps you understand how your teams are doing. That comes right out of the metrics, right? It's a simple pointing system where when you do it right, it's not about hours. And a lot of times, so you do this, you get this chart that's basically like I showed you before. But then sooner or later, it starts going up like this. So over time, times the x-axis, and it'll level out, and then it should start gradually going up, okay? And that's really what the velocity chart should be doing. And the reason being is that we're not capping ourselves and equate ourselves to hours, and two, it's a measure of complexity, simplicity, risk, and how much you all think well together, right? Because you think about it, you take an average story, and what I like to do, we're already 7 minutes already. Wow. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13 are your basic numbers, right? And if you ever did this, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. That's how you do the numbers, by the way, if you ever need to know. It's the number before added to the one it is, and then you get your Fibonacci series numbers. I like 3 as my middle number because it gives me 2 numbers below and 2 numbers above. 13s are like huge. Those are big feet. Those are small features, right? And the reason why I do that is I say, okay, you did something, you get a couple sprints in, and you're really trying to figure out how much work it is, how complicated it is. And then you look back at your past 4 sprints and say, okay, we got a couple sprints in, we got some samples of work we did. Give me an average size story out of the sprint, and we assign it to a 3. Okay. And that's your average size. Then as you look at other stories, are they more complicated, less complicated? Is there more risk, more unknowns, more spikes? Don't know about something, right? A lot of unknowns. Then you go up and below on the 3-pointer and measure that. And the idea is that the more work you get, more complicated, you can do more stuff. The simpler stuff, you do more of it. But theoretically, it'll just keep going up. But when you do hours, it just doesn't. So I just want to warn you out there, if you do let them equate points to hours, and I know a lot of safe activity does that, which I had to find out more about that and do more on that, but it's just going to mess up your velocity. You're never going to grow your velocity. It never will go up. The only thing about the velocity to go up is that you're more effective with your time. So you have less time doing unplanned work. It's the only way the velocity can go up because you're spending more time developing code and you found more lean ways to practice. But it's only going to go up a little. It's not going to show a double in capacity or velocity performance. So I just want to talk about points and hours and just let you know that If you equate them to hours, your velocity will never go up. It will go up a little bit because you're getting more effective with the time you have in that 40 hours because you're not screwing around and doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, and you're concentrating that 40 hours on really work, right? And getting quality product out and finding ways to improve your time at doing stuff, right? But it's still going to be 40 hours. Even if you figured a way to get your stories done in half the time, you're still going to have the same velocity. You're just going to have more stories out maybe, but your velocity will be the same and it won't change. So I'm just giving a warning. So that's it. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We got to remind everybody, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. The other one I want to talk about is grooming more than 2 sprints. And I've talked about this in the past. I think I've talked about other things, but there's different angles on it. The reason why I say no more than 2 sprints ahead, teams really don't want to wait. There's a lot of pressure on teams, and they don't want to waste their time grooming stuff or refining stuff that is not going to be used. It's very frustrating. If you spend hours looking at stuff and details and analyzing things and doing it too far in advance, and the business or some need came around and changed that, it builds up a lot of frustration and a lot of strife to the team. So if you go too far out, like, hey, we refined like 6 months worth of stories. Well, you may not do any of those stories. They may become old. Some new technology will come out and just make it easier to do, and you don't need that anymore. Or the competition came blew you away, or something like that. Or somebody came up with a new way. Hey, we figured out new code just came in, a new tool, and we could do that like easy to do it. So it doesn't make sense to really plan out that far. The only thing that makes sense to plan out that far is a sketching, like wireframing how you want it to look. Like if you have a lot of work and you have a vision for page after page after page, or data after data after data, or projects, then that you plan out, right? Big level pieces, but not the little pieces. Don't get down into the analytical part of what it's going to take to do the job. And the reason why is the other day I was talking to somebody, and he says, yeah, they had done all this refinement, and then the business decided that they needed to switch things around, like these big features, and move them out until like next spring, and they wanted to work on this feature now. So they refined. This is where the frustration comes. They refined stuff that was rated as this feature that they thought they were going to build today, but the business management decided that no, they didn't want that now. They want to put that out next spring because they probably got a lot of other things that come along that need to be in place to make that happen, right? So they decide we're going to do this instead. So they spent all this time refining all those features, like a couple months worth of work, and it's gone, right? So the idea is you don't go too far out, because that way it keeps the teams from getting frustrated because they're not working on stuff they spent all their refinement time in it. So just remember, just 2 sprints, right? 2 sprints is 1 month. It's just planning what you're going to do next month, and keep it small, right? And that helps too, because if you do monthly releases, if you do two sprints, you know what's going to go in that release, and it helps you really concentrate in getting things done, right? But that's what I just want to recommend. And again, if you refine too much backlog, it goes to waste, because people are going to, and plus you're going to learn how you code. So what you code today is not going to be what you code tomorrow. What you code today will be refactored and refined in such a way that you find better techniques, and you make code repository. You do all kinds of things to make it better, that within a month, what you thought you were going to do is no longer valid, right? So that's why we do it that way. Anyway, just remind you, don't code too far. Don't refine too far out. Please, please give your teams a break. Hey, this is what you do. You're refining the stories, right? And all the refinement of the stories is, can you code it? Can you test it? How many points are? That's refinement. That's it. You have a little discussion. Plus, people will forget about the discussion, and then you walk away. Your team will appreciate if they get up to 2 refinement sessions are worth the work done. And you say, we're done. They look at you like, what? We're done. No, we're done. You got we got 2 sprints worth of stuff. We have enough backlog refined. We just need to go in sprint planning and get the work we got done. They will appreciate it very much and feel good about it. With that, it's 5:10. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe. Share with your friends. This is episode 102, and it's Fortune Cookie Friday. We're going to do the fortune cookie. Hey, there's a fortune. Ooh, got one. And I'll eat the cookie later, though. I eat so much candy from Halloween. My stomach's just bothering me. So, got the fortune cookie. And let's see what the fortune cookie says. I'll take my glasses off. Better be the head of a chicken than the tail of an ox. Okay, I can do this. Better be the head of a chicken than the tail of an ox. The ox is waterfall. Okay, the chicken is a sprint. So you're better to be in the sprint and be able to move and see things and dodge, because I don't want to talk about the other part of the tail. But you can be the head of a chicken, right? And find your way and peck your way and get your food and do what you got to do. And in the sprint, it's much more dynamic and fast and adjusting, right? Where if you're the tail of an ox, and the ox, the big massive ox, is the waterfall project, and you are the testers at the end. All that stuff that goes to the ox comes down to the tail of the ox, and that's what you get when you do the waterfall part. You test stuff, and you are treated like the tail of an ox, right? So that's my correlation to that fortune cookie, and then we get too graphic on what that meant. But with that, remember, we test all the time. Do. We peck at it. We test it. We feel how it goes. First, long, slow, months and months of development time, planning, analyzing, and then we don't see it until the end of the tail on the ox. And that's what we would end up getting, if you get my drift. So with that, thumbs up. Eddie's thumbs up. Have some fun. Hopefully everybody did some fun things for Halloween or whatever your holidays. I know there's a lot of holidays over in India lately, and you have an awesome weekend. We will be here Saturday and Sunday for 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, giving you ideas and thoughts and the practical and tactical, just to make your life a little easier and for yourself and your teams. And we'll do some more business stuff, I think, this weekend too. All right, take care. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.